Hello everybody, this is a quick video to show you how you can possibly make a quick backing track in Logic Pro X. First thing you need to know is that you can't use your computer's or telephone's microphone to do this because they sound terrible. And if you want to have some sort of quality, then you will need to go and get some stuff. First thing that you would need is a audio interface. This one here is one that is very recommended. It's £100. Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. For its price, it's probably the best that you can get. The next thing you need, let me tell you a little bit about this actually, what this does. So it's got two inputs, so your microphones will go in here. It's got a monitor button here, which is the amount of signal that it sends to your speakers. And it's got the headphone monitor here, so you can hear what's going on without any sound coming out of your speakers, which is very useful when you're recording multi-layers or even single layer, because the Logic will play, if you choose to, a metronome in the background. And if it does that, you will be able to hear it over the speakers, and it'll record it, and it won't work very well. So that's the first thing that you might need. Second is a nice microphone. This is the one that I have. It's called a Bluebird condenser microphone, and it's apparently about £191, which is much cheaper than what I got it for. From musicsquare.co.uk, and I love this. It's got great reviews. I think it sounds really good. Slightly cheaper version. This has been reviewed to be the best for its price. It's all a matter of taste, but it's called the SE Electronics SE220A2, and this is about £150. Okay, so you've installed and plugged in all of your new stuff. Let's fire up Logic and make it work. So I'm going to go with new. When you open up Logic for the first time, this will actually come up. So you would go with an empty project, choose, and then this window comes up. You're trying to record audio, so here we go. Let's get an audio track on here for us. Create. Okay, as you can see, if you look just here, the microphone level is going in here. You can hear me recording. Down here, input is where you choose. So you've got two inputs obviously on your sound card if you've got that particular one, and you can choose which ones it is. In this case, that's the one. Next thing that you need to know is the tempo of your track. I like to write dubstep, which is 140 BPM up here. Click, drag, 140. Right, I'm just going to sing something stupid into the microphone, or say, this isn't to show you how good of a singer I am. Next thing you need to know, you have the 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4 counts in, and also it has the metronome. This will keep the metronome clicking away or not, depending. So let's have it active for now and see what happens. So you probably won't be able to hear it because it's not coming out through the speakers, just in my headphones. But let's see what happens. So I'm just going to record. Okay, let's see what we've got. So in this case, it's come out with the microphone. Probably because I'm using the screen recording software, it's doing that. So I'll take that out for now. So click on it, press delete. And this is asking me if I want to delete it from the actual disk. Yes, please. Delete. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the microphone off, and it'll only give me the 4 counts in, and then it's up to me to sort of sing in time. Let's try again. Let's see what's happened this time. Oh, haven't I got a beautiful voice? Okay. So we now have our audio. let's say that we've made a bit of a mistake and we need to kind of fix it. The second bit wasn't in tune or something. Okay. So we press the plus button. We're going to get another option to do that. Because I've got my interface plugged in, I'm going to mute this one. Otherwise you would leave it unmuted and you'd be able to hear it and sing along with it, but because of the way it's recording, it'll record that as well, which is not really what we want. So I'll pretend that there's something gone wrong here in the second half and record. Perfect. Oh my goodness, I'm such a good singer. Right. Let's make it all just a little bit bigger. Right here are our zoom tools. Okay, now we can see what's going on. So we want to take this and stick it at the end of this. Two ways that we can do it, really. Isn't that funny? One, you can just drag the bit that you don't want like that from the end, which may or may not work for you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to cut, because you might want to cut just a bit out. So let's say, for example, we want to cut just this bit in. This wasn't the bit that was right. So make sure the one that you need is highlighted. Right click, split by playhead. So now that's split there, and we want to put it in here. So we want to do the same thing again. Split by playhead. This is the bit that we don't need, so we click on it, delete. We don't really need to do the same with that again. The splitting, we can just kind of move it to where we want it to go. There we go, and pop it up in here. Let's have a listen. Oh dear, can you hear that? Those clicks? Terrible. Let's get rid of those. I've selected them and double clicked. What we get is a slightly bigger version of them down here. So what we need to do now is to fade them. Depending on where you put your mouse here, it'll give you a different thing. What we need is the top one, and drag to one side, drag to the other, and then that's your crossfade. And then again on the other side. Yeah, I've done this badly, which is good because it means that you can see here it's just been chopped off, so that would sound terrible if it don't do that. But now, okay, so the next thing that's gone wrong is that this is a little bit loud, which is good because we can fix that in a little while. So we have the music that we need recorded, let's say. And let's say now that we don't need this anymore, we can get rid of this. Now we need to put a drum track, let's say. Okay, so we press the plus button again, and we get our drummer. And by clicking on this interface pops up at the bottom. We don't need all of this. We're just doing a little demo now. So this is telling us how long it's playing for and what it's going to play. So we want to loop this now. So to loop it, we either click on this and drag it to the bars. It's not snapping in the right place for some reason, but it doesn't really matter. Or you can press C and that turns it on or off. So let's press play and see what happens. Depending on where you put the dot, you've got various little presets here that kind of change what it's doing. Okay, so it's really easy to get a very basic drum beat. Then again, what you can do is you can make this smaller if you wanted to have a different drum beat. Then click here in this bit here, get your pencil tool out and draw in where you want the next bit to go. It's drawn way too much for what we need, so I'll just make it smaller. There seems to be a sort of default size, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, doesn't matter. Dragging it back. Okay, so with this one, we just want this to be different. let's make this one be, okay, let's put them both on loud and but different complexities. Let's hear what comes out. Okay, so now we have several different beats going on. You can keep changing them, just, you know, draw them in and press the button and it'll give you fills, it'll give you different type of beats depending on what you need. So that's your drummer. Now let's say, for example, that we want to add well, another instrument, but one that not that you want to record, one that you want to play, because you don't have a piano, for example. Let's put a piano. So you press the plus button here and a softer instrument. We've already got it selected, but I'm going to do it again. So for that, you want the sampler, EXS24 sampler. Okay, press create. And what will happen now is this library window will open up, which is available here. And this lets you choose what instruments you want for this particular, so because it's the sampler. In fact, so let's say we want acoustic piano. Pow! There we go, acoustic piano. It's just done it now. I've got my keyboard. I was going to try and sing in C major. It's not. I think it's about in C major. Okay, so let's just write something random in, or not too random, but something quick in. Pencil again. Write in what we need, or press it in. Let's go back to the pointer. When you've double clicked on this, this will appear at the bottom. So depending on what you have selected, different stuff will appear. If you look here, you have your selection tool and you have your pencil tool. And to get this pencil tool without clicking, you just press Command. See that? And it appears. So you don't have to keep sort of selecting between the two of them. This is where your music can be written in. So let's just put some really basic chords in. And then say if I want to copy and paste, I can do it the usual way, or I can press down Alt, so magnifying glass appears, click on it, and start to drag it whilst holding all the buttons. And then let go of the mouse, and then let go of Alt, and it should do that for you. Okay. But what I actually want to do is I want to make the D minor bit on the second half. So I've made that longer by just grabbing it and dragging it. This wants to be on the second bar, really. I want these to be kind of full bars. There we go. Okay. Next thing that we want to do maybe is to change the velocity. That's how hard the pianist sort of played when they recorded it. It's not just the same as changing the volume. It's kind of the same as you know, the sound changes as you strike the key. So we want the second one to be, let's just do it for the sake of example, extreme. See that? So it's the velocity just here that lets you do that. So that's obviously too extreme. It's clipping and stuff. The clipping is when it goes red. You might have noticed the red just here. But we'll just make it a little bit different. So there we go. Okay. Let's get rid of the library. If you press X, the mixer will come up now. And when I loaded the piano, because it's a preset, Logic also loaded the drums. When I loaded the drums, Logic also loaded some reverberation for me. And to get access to that, we use sends. So SoCal is the drums. So that's this little channel here. I don't know if I mentioned to get this mixer, you press X. If I didn't mention it, there you go. X to get the mixer up. We're going to send everything to the reverb because, you know, when you play stuff, it's all in a room. but first we've got the drums, so let's see what we have. I'll just close the things that we're not using for now, so they're not doing anything. The sent has been sent to bus 1, which is it's very big. Well, which is this anyway. This one. To send stuff, we're going to send the let's just send the audio as well. So you go into the sends, press, hold, bus 1, because that's the one that has things on it already. Now I'll go back to the drums, and the amount that it's sent is determined by this little circle wheel type thing here. Okay, let's just get our space designer. So to get your reverb or any effect in here, you would click on it. Let's just get rid of it for now. We'll get rid of everything for now that we don't need. So in the audio effects tab, you would click it, go to, in this case, reverb, and space designer is the one I'd recommend. It sounds quite nice for a freebie. Let's just go through a preset that will kind of make everything obvious. That. Okay, I'm going to solo the reverb so you can hear, and I'm going to send it in all the way so you can hear exactly what the reverb is doing. Okay, so it sounds terrible, but because there's no actual dry signal, the dry signal is the signal that's been unaffected, the wet signal is the signal that has been affected. What we can do now is you can blend. So we've got our drums, and let's just put it down to 0 and add it in and see what happens. Too much. So that seems like a reasonable amount in a quick run. So let's have a go with and without so you can see the difference. Okay, so there's an obvious difference going on. So now we have our vocal. So let's solo that. We need to unsolo the SoCal, and we can take the bus off. Otherwise, it'll still play in. It'll still send it even though it's muted. And send the vocals in there. Same kind of thing. Now we're going to turn the drums back on, because just doing stuff on their own is silly, because no one's ever going to hear that vocal on their own, because it's going to be with the drums or with whatever's going on at the time. So let's bring it all back in. So we got a bit of reverb on the vocals as well. I'll take a bit more off the drums. And let's do the same with the piano. Piano is also being played in a room. Let's do it quickly, just like that. Okay, I'm just doing this quickly because of time. Let's say now, for the sake of argument, that we're happy. We've kind of balanced it out well. Everything's kind of reverbed. We just need to make the vocal sound a little bit nicer now, because there's all kinds of factors when you record. The room has various kind of reflections, and we need to kind of fix those, because the mic will pick up some frequencies better than others because they've been bounced off the wall more than others. And my room is completely untreated, so there's probably quite a lot going on. So let's just mute everything that's not the vocals, because now we're doing some what's called surgical work, just trying to fix things that weren't recorded so well. So first thing that we need is an equalizer. Back into the audio effects, click equalizer, channel EQ will do, and there's this crazy looking thing, which is actually not so crazy. Okay, if you press analyzer just here, let's listen to the vocal. Okay, so if you look at the drawings, let's call it drawing, you'll notice that there's activity going on quite low down. Now you ask yourself, but the voice doesn't sing that low down. That's right, but the room reflected stuff that low down. So we need to fix that, because those are sounds that we don't need in our mix. They'll just kind of make it muddy and crappy. We need to filter them away. This is the button that we need to press. This gives us our high pass filter. What that means is that it passes the high frequencies and affects, it takes away the low. So I'll exaggerate it so you can hear what it's doing. Okay, so let's just leave it here for now. Again, quick demonstration. This isn't necessarily the perfect setting. But let's just kind of roll off the bits that we don't need. Next thing we're going to do is a bit more surgical EQ. We're going to find the room resonances and get rid of them because they sound terrible, as you will see in a moment. So we're going to grab another one of these, I believe they're called nodes, and boost it. So this is the frequency, this is the amount, and this is the resonance. And everything will be explained in a moment. So let's move this up to, let's say, 100 for now. Move it all the way up. And what we can see is the resonance now, which is how much is actually being affected. If you move it along. Oh, sorry, this is a shelf. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, let's get rid of this one actually. This one isn't the best one to use. Let's use the yellow one. Right, okay, here we go. This one's a shelf. Okay, I'll explain why I did that actually, because it's probably useful. Let's move this along so we can see what's happening. When you do this, get rid of the filter. It's called a shelf because everything below this is either boosted or taken away, which is not what we're looking for at this moment in time. You can change it by pressing. Oh, you can't. I don't use this EQ, so I don't know it that well. This one, however, is called a bell EQ, which is because it's like a bell. And our resonance, this is how much of it is being affected. So we need it to be quite surgical. Let's get our filter back. What we're listening to now is just huge increases in volume, which will show us where we need to fix things. So I'm going to play it and let's listen. So listen to that. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, so that's pretty shitty, right? Excuse my language. So we need to get rid of that. So let's go with for a basic thing, 4 decibel cut, which means that it'll just kind of get rid of those. You might want to do that again another once or twice just to see if there's any more in there, any more of these strays to get rid of. So that's our EQ. Our surgical EQ, better said. So now, let's have a quick listen. Okay. Oh, sorry, I forgot to turn on the... Okay, our masterpiece is very basically complete. Let's now do what's called bouncing it down, which is exporting it. So you can use it on your phone or on a CD or whatever. Anyway, so we're back to our mixer, and the bounce button is just here, BNC. Press it. This allows you to export it either as an MP3 or as a wave. You just kind of select which one you want, or both. I'm going to do an MP3. This is your quality. Press OK. Let's call it test. It's on my desktop for now. You can use this the cycle bar to select how much you want to export. There are different ways of doing it, but this is just how I like to do it. So we want the whole thing, or you can just kind of select a part of it to go. Press bounce. Pow! It's done it because it's only a short file, and it should now appear on my desktop. Here it is. And there we have it. So this is an extremely basic sort of no fuss way of doing your own recording. There are years of your life that you can spend learning this stuff in much more detail, but if you wanted to do just a quick track without going into difficult things like compression and saturation, distortion, all that kind of stuff. You just want a simple backing track that hasn't taken too long to make. This is how you go about it. I think I might leave it there for now. I hope this has been useful. This has been my first tutorial, so feel free to tell me if it's any good or bad or whatever. I'm quite happy to have comments, whether negative or not. Thanks for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.